Welcome back to the Asylum. I'm Kane.
And I'm Deshaun.
And we are the Arkham Inmates. And for today's video, we're going to be changing up just a little bit. We got a brand new video for you today. We're going to be looking at hot takes. And we are going to be taking a look at Marvel hot takes. So this is going to encompass everything. So this is going to be Marvel comics, Marvel movies, Marvel video games, anything Marvel has made, all of it a broad spectrum. We are huge fans of Marvel, so we're going to be saying our opinions, but we're going to be taking a look. Now, I have gathered up around 20 hot takes that I found that were pretty juicy enough to get Deshaun definitely going, what the fuck? So, he hasn't seen any of these. I've skimmed these just to, read them, but I haven't said my opinion on them. But we're going to be diving into some of these people's spiciest takes on the Marvel franchise. Let's get into it. All right, so now it's time for us to get into the hot takes. Let's start with the first one. You ready? The MCU has completely ruined the comics.
Not completely. It's diluted the comics a little bit, but it hasn't completely ruined it.
Also, just in chat, if you see any of these, this is all from Reddit. So, if you see anybody's Reddit handle right here or whatever, don't go killing them if you don't like their opinion. It's called freedom of speech, bitches. All right? Let's be courteous here. So, the MCU has completely ruined the comics. I don't think it's ruined the comics. I think they're two separate things. I think the MCU has, like I've told you this before. I think it's the fan base has gotten so saturated, that people that don't really read the comics are
I think it's diluted. It's maybe diluted somewhere. Maybe
the fan base.
People are diluted because, like, for example, Iron Man. He's a selfish guy in the comics. Like,
he's an ass.
He's an ass.
But people love him now because the MCU has turned him.
It's like he's not like that.
Yeah. I think people forget how much of a tool he is.
Yeah.
Like, he rarely helps people that doesn't benefit
it's not
him.
benefiting him. Yeah.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say that one's hot. I would say it's all right. It's a bit mild.
Yeah.
It's a bit of mild sauce. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so not really specific to Marvel, but I see a lot in the fan base. 90% of people who are mega fans of a character or team, book, project, blah, 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 are unreasonable degree, leading to them to understanding the thing and important storylines. Skip a little bit. Anything that can defend or doesn't fit into their version or thing is bad writing or the editorial's fault. But there are some people who can't accept any characterization storylines but the ones they like. I 100% agree.
I can see that, but I also don't agree with people changing a character just for, like, no, let me rephrase that. Because for Zack Snyder, how Batman kills.
Right.
Like,
he breaks his rule.
You're changing up the fucking character. It's like, that's not just a storyline. It's
right?
like, dude.
But I see what they're saying by the sense of, like.
But I understand what they're saying.
Yeah,
too.
it's like if someone's like, oh, my Spider-Man would never have let Gwen fall, and it's like, cool, that's your there's a big code in the comics. If you guys are comic people, then you know this code. But your headcanon is canon. That's how it is. If you believe
you said it.
What?
I taught him what headcanon means a couple days ago. I mean, a couple weeks ago.
All right, is that my blue ribbon? Did I make you proud?
But a good example is everyone said Spectacular Spider-Man wouldn't have been on the team chasing Miles.
No, he wouldn't have, because he was so against of what they were trying to do to him. So, like, I can see that. So, but I wouldn't say it ruins anything. But I definitely get what he's saying of, like, the people that they're fans, especially Batman fans, Spider-Man fans, people that are like, oh, it has to be this way and only this way.
Yeah, like when Peter Parker's happy, like, dude, don't ruin the storyline.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
No. We need to beat the shit out of him.
Is he smiling?
But I wouldn't say that's too of a hot take. I feel like that's kind of like a broad opinion. I can
see where he's coming from.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Fantastic Four are boring and outdated. That's why they don't work in live action. Most interesting from the IP is their villains. Doom and Galactus are millions times more interesting than the Fantastic Four team.
I think Ben Grimm has a sad story, but he's boring.
That's hottish. I disagree entirely. I think the Fantastic Four is one of Marvel's... It's the first Marvel family, and they are so interesting, but the movies fuck them up.
I think
they water them down.
In the comics, there's certain things when it happens to Ben where I'm like, oh, that's so sad, and like his life and stuff. But I think Ben's just the most boring out of everyone.
But I feel like the movies did that, because there's a lot of dope stuff with the movies. But I'm saying, like, I mean, with the comics, not the movies.
I don't know. I feel like the other three bring the life to the team.
But as a family.
Yeah. As a family. So
I wouldn't call them boring or outdated.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that, but I could see why he would feel that way. Like, maybe if he's not.
So this one's not that spicy. Not too bad of a hot take, you thinking?
I definitely disagree with saying they're outdated and boring.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I kind of just...
I do agree, though, that the interesting part from them is their villains.
Yeah.
I think Doom is probably that's one of my favorite all-time big bads. But
actually, no, I can't say that because there's this comic where Reed Richards talks a man out of committing suicide.
Yeah, there's also comics where, like, Reed Richards holds the city together with his lifeless corpse. Like,
but this is just like a very heroic thing because Reed's usually just a scientist first, then a hero.
Right.
But he went out of his way. He stopped this guy from jumping off a building, and then the guy tells him his life story. He's like, "Hey, the guy's on his deathbed.
Right.
And he has no one, and he's like, his wife's divorced and everything. He's like, hey, when you're dying and you're on your bed and it's your time, you call me, and I don't care what I'm doing. I'm pulling up." And he did. He was like, there was some crazy shit going down. The guy called him. He said, "No, I have to go."
And he had to go to the dude.
And he gave him like a
I would not call that boring or outdated at all.
Yeah, so that's just, whenever I see stuff like that, I'm just like, oh man.
So would you say it's a hot take? Pretty hot?
It's kind of.
I'd say it's a little spicy. All right, let's move on to the next one. Spider-Man fans don't nearly have it as hard as other fans of
100%,
characters.
100%.
100%. Yeah, I'll agree. I don't really think that's a hot take because
the only time that applies for Spider-Man fans, if you're an Andrew Garfield fan, back in the day, like when we were kids, like middle school.
But here's the thing: if only Marvel alone, Wolverine is an insanely tragic character that gets so like overshadowed and stuff as X-Men. Yeah. So it's like Spider-Man fans don't nearly have it as hard. Like, there's so many people like. How about, like, a very obscure fans? Like, let's say you're a fan of, like, Daredevil, right? Well, the most recent Daredevil stuff, you've been getting a lot of praise. So it's like, oh, you're getting a lot. Same with Spider-Man. Same with Doctor Strange because of the MCU. But let's say you're a fan...
Daredevil's because of the fans. They canceled that show. The fans are the reason they brought that shit back.
But let's say you're a fan of, like, let's say you're a big fan of Morbius, right? But that movie fucking tanked. Yeah. So now everyone hates Morbius, or it's a joke. Yeah. Like, now, Spider-Man fans...
Well, I agree with this.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. All right, good. Not spicy at all. I agree. Let's move on to the next one. The only way to tell better, more diverse stories is to have a multiverse.
I agree.
I disagree. You're telling me... Okay, let me get my piece first. You're telling me the only way to tell better, more diverse stories is by the multiverse?
But diverse.
Diverse, sure, but I'm saying, like...
After
the
a while,
first Spider-Man, right, with Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
That didn't need any multiversal stuff.
Yeah, but I'm thinking in comics.
Well, even in comics. Like, just
stuff. You're going to be doing the same shit too much if you don't have a multiverse. It's going to be kind of boring.
Yeah, but I feel like that... I'm a big fan in the comics. I'm a big fan of, like, one-offs or spin-off type things. I'm fans of 5-part issues rather than... Like, Wolverine, the Wolverine issue pack. Wolverine's on, like issue 387 of a single issue. I have some of those and I do enjoy their stories, but I really like a lot of my Sabretooth comics, right? They're like issue 1 through 8 and it ends right there and it's just a solid story and it doesn't pick up. I like that. You don't need a multiverse to tell diverse, better stories. Maybe diverse to like bring in a lot of at once, but I feel like a multiverse isn't needed. I feel like that's a little too like, hey, this is needed. Like when he says the only way to tell better, I don't know.
I disagree.
I wouldn't say that's too spicy or too hot, but all right, let's move on to the next one. Eternals is one of the best teams in Marvel, in my opinion. It used to be my favorite team, but then I found out about the X-Men, but I still love the Eternals.
I can't really speak on this because I don't know anything about the Eternals.
I like the Eternals. I wouldn't say it's the best team. I feel like that's a bit broad. I mean, like he said, he found the X-Men. My personal favorite Marvel team ever is the X-Men. Yep, I think they're the best ever made. I feel like the diversity, the amount of powers, the amount of weaknesses, the amount of villains, the amount of... I think it's just the best fucking team. Second to that would be Fantastic Four. I love the Fantastic Four. And then there's so many other teams. Avengers wouldn't even be on the list.
Would be my number 2.
I think my number 3 would be like... Oh, man. Guardians of the Galaxy fucking slaps, you know? Maybe Avengers would be 3 or 4, but like, no, I don't think Eternals is up there. But, you know, that's not too hot of a take. That's kind of just like a little bit of opinion. All right, let's move on to the next one. Captain Carter is cool. Actually, her haters just need to drink some tea and relax.
No, I don't fucking... I mean, I don't hate her. I just don't really like her. I wouldn't hate on her. I just don't care for her at all.
Here's what I'll say. In the comics, she's fun. In the What If series, she's cool because she could be the main person. But when they did Multiverse of Madness and they had her take the Cap line and then have her get cut in half by her own shield.
Even the way she spits, I'm like,
oh my
you're trying too hard. I can do this all day.
The movies the movies is what movie. Going back to that first one where you said the MCU is ruining the comics.
Yep.
I can kind of see that because the fans are only seeing the movies and then hating the character and then not wanting to read the comics. Like I could see it like that. But
I don't even really.
I think she's cool. But maybe her haters need to just drink some tea and relax. Not too hot of a take though. Next one. Spider-Man fans have all the problems people complain Batman fans have, and are essentially the Dragon Ball fans of comics. Also, their tendency to hyper-focus on certain topics make discussion about the character hard and lack nuance because they want to complain about the same 3 things.
I can see that.
I agree.
I don't watch. I'm a big anime fan. I don't watch Dragon Ball for that specific reason. And
it's because it's the same just talking points?
No. I'm also the fans. Like, I just... Because of how much hype is around that show,
right?
I don't know. It's just.
I think it's one of those things where, like it says, Spider-Man fans have all the problems people complain about, like Batman fans have. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you were to talk to somebody about Spider-Man, it's either going to be 2 things. It's either going to be they know absolutely everything about Spider-Man, and you're kind of like, okay, dude, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or they're going to talk about the movies, and the movies only touch on certain things.
Yeah.
So the same thing with Batman. Now, I don't watch Dragon Ball at all, so I wouldn't even know that part of it. But I agree with this. Like, the amount of, like, the discussion and nuance, like, to even talk about new things. And, like, for our segment that we do on this channel, we do Fancast Fridays. We just did the Spider-Man one. So, for the Spider-Man Fancast Friday, right? Like, that's us bringing some new stuff to the Spider-Man people. I feel like a lot of people don't even have those conversations. I feel like it's just, who's the best Spider-Man? Who's the best Spider-Man villain, I can see that. Not too bad of a hot take. Next one. The casting of Cumberbatch as Strange was so on the nose that it's boring. They've also damaged the character by just trying to make him a replacement for Tony, especially his personality. And, to add on to it, Deadpool and Wolverine was an okay superhero movie when it was holding your hand and trying to explain the lore behind 2 media mergers. Fans cared more about the cameos than anything else. Same as No Way Home.
That second part is crazy to say. I don't agree with
that. That second one's a hot one. Let's go with the first one. Cumberbatch is boring. I disagree completely.
With that at all. I don't think he's Tony.
I don't think he's Tony. You know what? This whole thing is, I disagree with everything.
With all that.
I think Cumberbatch was on the nose as perfect casting as Tony was, but I don't think that makes him boring. I think that was a great choice that they chose. And I don't think he's trying to be Tony at all. He doesn't see me as... Tony is an ass. Cumberbatch is really fucking nice. Deadpool and Wolverine was an okay superhero movie. I can agree that the plot was very thin. Mm-hmm. It just got to where it was going. But we all knew while we were watching that movie. Yeah. This wasn't for the most outstanding plot. It's a Deadpool movie.
That was a great movie.
Like, it was phenomenal. And what else? Fans cared more about the cameos than anything else. No. Yeah. Same as No Way Home.
Comparing it to No Way Home,
no, not even
No
close.
Way Home had a good plot to it.
It was better than Deadpool and Wolverine, but No Way Home plot is still thin. But it's Deadpool and Wolverine's is a lot thinner, but here's the thing. Why did you go watch Deadpool and Wolverine? Did you really go watch it for a awesome movie of plot and awesomeness? Or did you go, oh my god, they brought back Hugh Jackman. We're finally gonna get Wolverine and Deadpool? Fuck it, we're seeing the movie. That's what that was. It was a love letter.
But I feel like...
to the Fox universe. That's what it was.
In Spider-Man, it had, even if take the cameos out, it had such good storylines in it, like Aunt May dying, him finally becoming his own Spider-Man.
Right.
There was just so much about it.
You could have taken out the whole multiversal stuff and just put a big bad villain that we haven't seen. Yeah. Had him kill Aunt May, you would have kept the same shit.
Dude. Oh, yeah.
You would have kept the same. Yeah.
This nigga's tweaking.
All right. All right. That's a pretty hot one then. That's a pretty hot take. All right. Let's move on to the next one. MCU fans make the actual Marvel look bad. I agree. 100%. Because you got to separate MCU fans. Because we're fans of the comics and the animated shows, everything. But I'm talking people that only know the MCU. MCU fans. People that are like, oh my god, that new movie was trash because it didn't have this or that. And
I can kind of agree with that.
It's like, the rest of Marvel, if you're trying to talk about the comics, be like, oh, I love when Doctor Doom was actually good and he became Iron Man and do this. And they're like, what? Dr. Doom would never be Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr.'s best. It's like, I'm not talking about that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that's too hot of a take. Maybe for the MCU fans, it's pretty hot of a take. Let's move on to the next one. I generally like Deadpool, but I don't care if he never appears again in the movies. I'm not personally excited by Ryan Reynolds making snarky meta comments to the MCU characters' faces. That could be funny, but it could just be too much at times and overly indulgent.
This is a She-Hulk fan.
Damn. All right.
Skip this. I should tell you everything you need to know about this comment.
Oh my god. Well, I'll say something. I love Deadpool. I love him in comics and everything. I also like Ryan Reynolds. I know he's not in a lot of good shit, but I really enjoy him. But I feel like the whole point of him joining the MCU is to make those comments to their face.
Yep.
That's the whole point. All right, this person's on some different stuff. Let's move on to the next one. Venom is a fine character in the comics, although the movies were pretty bad, but I have no interest in all the extended symbiote characters from the comics. Carnage is pretty creepy, but one note, and all the rest of them just bore me. Big Venom crossover events are usually meh, too.
Well, that Venom was kind of entirely different. It was like a different universe of Venom.
100%.
So, like, I don't know what
I
you're
disagree
talking about.
completely. I am a huge Venom fan, but even if I wasn't, I think the symbiotes are a huge, awesome multiverse. Like, the fact that if it was only Venom, like, let's say Venom's been out for, like, what, like 30, 40 years? Like, in that amount of time, if we never got another symbiote and it was only Venom, sure. Like, boring one-note Spider-Man character. But, like, we have, like, thousands. And then we have Null. Yeah. We have, like, so much other stuff. Like, yeah, nah. This one's eh. Maybe, I'll agree that the movies are a bit eh, but not the characters. I think they actually need to start making the MCU more serious. Cheaters like Deadpool can still clown around as their personality from the comics, but they need to make it serious and make it dire in Doomsday and Secret Wars. 100% agree.
I agree. People
100%
have been
agree.
saying that for years after Endgame.
100% agree. We need, like Endgame again. We need some shit to where it's like, oh fuck, Peter just died. Oh fuck, Tony just died.
Chris Hemsworth was just saying the next Thor movie.
He wouldn't do it. No. He said he wasn't gonna do it if it was like,
funny or.
What was it? What was the one that just came out? What's it called?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. Yeah, he said he would not do another one of those.
Yeah, he was like apologizing about it. So
yeah,
I agree with this.
Yeah, 100%. Not hot at all. I agree. All right, we got some one here. Mandarin should come back, but with more updates. And I think the best options are either race swap him or keep his name, or don't race swap but change the name. 6160 Peter is mediocre. Peter doesn't need marriage.
Whoa.
Yeah. We're not done yet. Hold on. Peter doesn't need marriage and kids to develop. Wolverine is fine without romance. Punisher is really uninteresting, and even more when he's the protagonist. I just tolerate him when he's side character. MJ fans are one of the most hypocritical people that I've ever seen, and I think they kind of proves that Alan Moore right a little bit. Bruce and Betty is the best hero civilian couple of Marvel Comics. Dr. Doom should be allowed to do more evil and villainous shit, like torturing someone, for example.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let's start with the first one. Mandarin, kind of agree. That's cool. They can bring it back. Cool. Second one, 6160.
That's crazy to fucking say.
Oh.
That's crazy. That's insane to say that shit.
That's a hot one.
Fuck you.
You know what's crazy? He doesn't even explain it. He explains the other one. He just
says it.
He just says it.
Yeah, fuck you.
Wow, that one got you.
Peter doesn't need
marriage and kids to develop. I agree. Wolverine is fine without romance. No.
I agree.
No.
Everyone he loves dies.
That's the point. That's the hard-hitting tragedy. Because if not, he's just a killing machine. He's just Deadpool or Sabretooth.
No,
he needs to have that.
You can love people without romance.
No, I'm talking about him like falling in love with like when he was in Japan. A lot of the there's this Wolverine comic called Wolverine Netsugo, and it is such a great comic series where he learns being a samurai, and he falls in love with this girl. I forgot her name, and then she dies, and then he like. It's just a heartfelt thing of like everywhere this guy goes is tragic. Punisher's really uninteresting. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I love Punisher. MJ fans are the most hypocritical people I've ever seen, and they kind of proves Alan Moore was right a little bit. 100%. Dr. Doom should be allowed to do more evil.
I agree. 100%.
Okay, when Avengers Doomsday comes out and Secret Wars, right?
Be a motherfucker.
If he's being played by Robert Downey Jr., which he can play a really evil character. He's played it before. But if they don't allow him to kill at least Spider-Man or someone crazy,
I want to see some torturous shit. If they do some fucking stupid shit like Thanos only killing because of necessity.
No, I want to see some evil shit. We need an evil villain.
See a motherfucker.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. A lot of that's all right, but that 6160 Peter, go. Oof.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Let's move on to the next one. MCU has not made a single bad movie. Not one. If someone can sit through the sludge crap that was a DCEU and the majority of Fox's Marvel catalog and say they liked it better, I won't be able to respect it. Is any MCU movie worse than any Fantastic Four or Wonder Woman 84? Now, the TV series are a different story.
I disagree. What about the X-Men movies?
Yeah, go
Days of
fuck
Future
yourself.
Past. Logan. Like, Logan's one of the best fucking movies ever.
It actually won an award.
Yeah, so fuck you.
Yeah.
You stupid
On top
fuck.
of that, the sludge that the DCEU,
How-
Man of Steel is amazing. What was the other one?
Green
the DC
Lantern
Okay,
was
whoa.
awesome.
No, whoa. Fantastic Four, the original, go fuck yourself. I love that.
Those are good.
I love that. Even the Silver Surfer
the
one
Silver Surfer
was
was good. I don't care.
Wonder Woman 84, you got me. That one was horrible. And I don't know what you mean. Now the
Shazam 1 was
Amazing.
good.
Now, when you say now the TV series are a different story, I hope you mean a good light, because the TV series, if you're gonna talk bad about Superman and Lois, if you're gonna talk bad about Smallville,
Arrow,
like that,
fuck you.
Are you gonna talk
the Flash,
about
up until like season
right?
4?
Are you gonna talk about like the Marvel, like Moon Knight? You gonna talk about Loki? You gonna talk about
Daredevil, the TV
WandaVision,
show?
Daredevil, the Punisher? You better have some good light,
You
buddy.
better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
All right. Ugh, that's a hot one.
You better back the fuck up before you get smacked the fuck up. Fuck
All
around
right.
and have a heart attack.
Spider-Man should never
Don't
join.
one of y'all niggas got sickle cell
the
or
shit.
something?
Oh my god! All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right, Spider-Man should have never joined the Avengers and started as a solo hero. X-Men.
Is he talking about the MCU?
Yes, I think it's MCU.
Yeah.
X-Men should not join the MCU universe. Hulk and Black Widow were an inspired pairing. The movie just let them down. Recasting should be done sooner rather than later, making us comfortable with the idea not every recasting should be multiversal variant. All of the TV series that have came out so far, except WandaVision, would have been better in a movie form, which is ironic because I think comics generally lend themselves to TV series better. First one, Spider-Man should never join the Avengers. Yes, he should have. That's stupid. Yeah. He started out as a solo hero. Homecoming he was solo. He was not an Avengers in Homecoming. Yeah. And he wasn't even Avengers in Civil War. Tony just used him to help.
For the MCU, that's fine.
X-Men shouldn't join the MCU. Go fuck yourselves. Yes, they should.
They should.
Hulk and Black Widow were inspired pairing. The movie just let them down.
Yeah,
I never really saw them as a pair.
Yeah,
I never really was into that. Recasting should be done sooner. 100%
agree.
We were just talking about this.
For
which,
Black Panther?
Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, amazing dude, but they should have recasted immediately. Yep. Immediately. Black Panther 2 failed heavy because they didn't recast. All of the TV series that came out should have been movies instead of the TV series. Disagree at all. Because
Hawkeye would not have done it's a good TV series.
Okay, Moon Knight, Loki, WandaVision,
You're tweaking.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what just came out too? Daredevil, Punisher, come on. And here's another thing, right? Let's say they get greenlit for one season. One season can only be like The Boys are doing, where it's only like about 10 episodes, like animated shows, like, stuff like that. What if they get greenlit for 2 or 3 more seasons? That's literally 9 hours a season.
Yeah.
That's so much. And I'm going to use the Penguin as this. When the Batman came out, Colin Farrell literally said, I want 8 hours of television time to tell this character. And the Penguin won an award.
Yep.
Colin won an award for the Penguin. Like, no. They should have been movies. You can't shove all that information in a movie and it be good.
Yep.
That's how you get Spider-Man 3.
And Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man.
And Amazing Spider-Man, yep. Ultron was the best villain so far. Toby was the worst Spider-Man by an immeasurable amount. Thor: The Dark World was better than the first Thor. I only agree with your first fucking sentence. Ultron was the best villain so far. I love Ultron as a villain. I think he was the best. I like him a little bit more than Thanos because he was Tony's creation. Toby was the worst Spider-Man. Go fuck yourself.
I can't even believe what I'm fucking reading. This is crazy.
By an immeasurable amount? What are you smoking? That is... And in Thor: The Dark World was better than the first?
Dark World was better than Thor 1? What are you talking about?
Fuck no.
The only thing better about that was because of Loki.
Yeah. If Loki wasn't in it, you would be not saying that.
You're fucking tweaking.
I'll have another!
Another!
Yeah. No, we don't do that here. I like the drink.
What?
God.
This drink, I like it. Then you can ask.
And then he does the fucking emoji. What a bitch. Alright. All love. That's a pretty hot one, though. That
Fuck
Toby
you!
one. Oh my god.
Saying that shit
All
about
right.
Toby.
All the Disney Plus shows besides Loki have been really boring and all suffer from the same issues. Spider-Man and Black Panther were the only good parts of Civil War.
What the fuck?
Okay.
What?
None of the Iron Man movies are good. Still like the character, though.
What?
Ragnarok is the only good Thor movie. The first 2 Avenger movies aren't great.
Okay, the first one, you're tweaking. You're fucking tweaking. That's all. The second one. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're a fucking retard.
Hey, whoa!
Fuck you.
Whoa!
That's crazy to say that
dropping
shit.
the R word. Okay.
That's crazy.
I'll say my piece. The first one, the shows are boring, dumb, just dumb take. Spider-Man, Black Panther were the only good parts of Civil War, dumb take.
None of the Iron Man movies were good. The first one was amazing.
I love
That's my favorite
no,
one.
my favorite one's the second one. I love the second one.
I like the
I think all three of them is a great trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay. Ragnarok's the only good Thor movie. Ragnarok's my
first one was
favorite. Ragnarok's my
Yeah,
favorite,
first one
but
was
the
good.
Thor's amazing. The first Thor is amazing, and I actually like the Dark World. It's not the best, but it's good.
I think Avengers 2 gets more hate than it deserves.
The first
I
two
love
Avengers movies
2.
aren't great. That means you're telling me the first Avengers movie isn't great?
In 2012,
Are you
you're
fucking
tweets.
kidding me? Do you know how many people... We were kids.
Yeah, we were
Do
fifth
you
grade.
know how insane it was to be in that theater? To see
At that
all of our
time?
character...
And then after that,
No,
to
no.
see
Hey,
all the...
No, let's not even give them another time. What a fucking... No. Tweet. All of that. You're smoking some shit.
All the merch after that movie.
God.
was crazy.
Oh, the amount of money. Holy shit.
That was a
You
crazy
guys
way to
have
end it.
some hot takes. I definitely will give you that. There are some hot takes in that one. Some of these were... I agree with some of these. Some of them are mild, but there is some ones in here that were...
Crazy like that last
Yeah,
one.
you guys are crazy. But let us know what your hot take is. Put it down in the comment. Maybe you got a really bad. Maybe you're like, oh, Deadpool's the worst character. Maybe you got something really crazy. Maybe you're gonna say that Loki was the worst.
Hey,
worst
let us know
TV
if you
series.
disagree with us on something.
Yeah,
Tell us what
let
you-
us know. Let us know everything in the comments. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do all of that stuff you already know how to do. And thank you for joining us at the Asylum here as one of the Arkham inmates.
Peace.
Bye.